Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today I'll be in the shed talking out loud while I'm working on some stuff, and I have two videos. The first video I just rumble on, dumping my mind from my mind dump into speech. Well, both videos, the two videos that I'm going to share and post. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get it. Alright, so I got that done. Alright, where is it? Right here. Alright, got the staples out, so that's cleaned off. The shit there after the shine right there, can you see? Alright. Get this over here. Alright. I guess that would be a form of contention, right? A form of contention that's just ongoing. But why are they struggling in the first place? What was the actual origin of that struggle? Right? So the bottom line would be just like a family feud. But they don't. The original families have been gone and buried, generations ago. But they never knew why they were fighting in the first place. They're just fighting to be fighting, and the struggle just keeps on going on. It's like if you take that from a perspective of just one part of one area, like in West Virginia or Kentucky, and then you have different groups throughout the world that have the similar situations where they have different, like a brother and another brother, from the same lineage, right? They just separated because they had a different point of view, right? Which is quite interesting, if you think about it. And it just keeps on going and going, right? All because of a different point of view. This is ridiculous in the first place, right? Alright, looks like I can clean this off a little bit. I have to clean off the front of it first. I wonder how that would play out even at a cosmic level, right? If you think about it, there's like, okay, well, from the micro to the macro, and if we actually do live in a fractal type of reality, how does that interact and play out? Okay. Alright, I can do that. Where's my... Just getting underneath here. I wonder if you can see that. Kind of like prying underneath it. Then you have the language, right? A language barrier. How do we communicate, right? If there's, if I point at an object, right? I call that pliers. But someone else is like, okay, well, they call that jib, or something like that. Okay, well, that to them is jib, and I call it pliers. So now I understand jib is pliers, and they understand pliers as jib. But the only way we could communicate is if we were calm and cool and collected from the jump. And it's just because, you know, okay, well, because jib, the persons or people that were called jib looked different than I did. You're like, okay, well, but because of that fear of how they looked, would start playing in my imagination, right? It's like, well, and is it just bottom line fear of something different? And is that a systemic point of view? Is that, okay, well, if anything is different, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, is that the concept of the fear of the unknown, right? So, and then the root of that is just fear itself, right? So, but what is fear in itself? So, you know, I mean, you know, I'm afraid of something, and why am I afraid of it? Is it because someone said I was supposed to be afraid of it? Like, okay, like a scary movie, right? Like, ooh, I'm supposed to be scared. And like, but it was supposed to be like, you know, for entertainment, right? But then in part of you are like, okay, well, took it the wrong way because you lacked the understanding that it was supposed to be just for entertainment, right? Like, say for instance, there was a civilization that was into wearing masks, and they were using that as a form of entertainment to communicate their plays or whatnot, and in a setting like an outdoor art auditorium. but you just happened to see what they were doing, right? Without any context. Now you see these people with cat faces and dog faces, but they're just masks, right? But you never seen what a mask was, so you misplace that in your head, and you're like, okay, well, is that real? Or is it some kind of mask, right? And in their society, it would be perfectly normal. But a different, if someone was snooping on their normal, how would they know that it was normal to them, right? So I guess it would be a sense of perspective and the lack of understanding on the observer, as opposed to the situation and the people that are being observed. Because, let's say, for instance, okay, well, in the military, you have a group of people that are sitting at a bar, and they're off duty, having a beer at a bar, and they're in a group, and they have their own distinct language that they communicate with each other, because they speak the same language while they're out doing training, out on the field, or on their while they're doing their training. But then you got these cats that are not part of that culture, and they overhear them talking, and they take offense to what that social group was talking about and how they were talking about stuff. And then they have the outside group gets the ass because they have no context or understanding of how they were communicating. So then they get the ass of saying, well, that offends me. But it was, they should have, that group that being offensive is not minding their own business, right? So, is it, so where's the line here? If a different social group gets together and they want to relax and enjoy themselves and talk their own language, do they have to have their own separate place, or can they actually interact together in a public place without being harassed because of the cultural difference in their own type of language? And is it the other people, do they have the right to judge those people based on their point of view? All that military group is just chilling out and having a good time and relaxing, right? And maybe they have potty mouth, right? Well, they're soldiers, right? So it comes with the territory. I guess that would be more considerate of their surroundings, but at the same time, so there is a sense of responsibility of that military group to be, conduct themselves in a higher form and being aware of their surroundings. So there's two different dynamics here playing. Is that the context might not be appropriate in certain settings. But at the same time, the other group should realize that maybe that's the situation too. But it depends on the maturity level of the different groups, right? So if one group is immature and not realizing, oh, well, they're just cutting up, having a good time. Yeah. Well, they're talking shit with each other, obviously. They're talking smack with each other. Yeah, I kind of like understand that. That's what we do over here. I mean, but they're saying different things differently. Well, okay, well, then the aha moment. Okay, well, now I understand. But there has to be a certain level of maturity level on both parties, right? But anyways, that's just my 2 cents worth.